Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. It's Monday night. It's time to play some Soulherder. Just getting things started here. I think I'll probably run this through a league tonight. Just gonna adjust something real quick. I guess I'll let the folks in Discord know that things are starting up. All right. So anyhow, welcome to the stream tonight. Getting started a little bit later than usual. Just had a slightly late dinner this evening, so sorry if any of you were trying to catch me right at the 8 o'clock Eastern. Usually, I'm going to try to start on time on Monday nights. The list has been feeling pretty good. Earlier today, I just played one match. I didn't have a lot of time today to play any more Magic, but I beat Amulet Titan. The first game, I ended up winning with sort of beats in the air, like Yorion and Restoration Angel. But I finished the first game with 4 minutes on the clock. Opponent had about 7 minutes left on the clock. And then I somehow managed to win the second game before timing out. Like, this deck shouldn't be able to win games with 4 minutes on the clock. But I just pushed as much damage as I could and managed to get there. It's just, I'm constantly learning the lesson with this deck that you need to play fast. Like at the beginning of a match, you have all the time in the world, and maybe you take a while thinking about whether you want to play Hierarch first or Birds first. Like you got to be snappy with those decisions. Hey DV, welcome to the stream. So I think I'm just gonna run this through a league. I might just get beaten up by all the Lurrus stuff that's around. But the list has felt pretty tight. Like if we draw well, the deck can do really well. I have found the plan of just ramping hard early. Like if you get down a Birds or a Hierarch on turn 1, a Wall of Roots on turn 2, you're talking about casting Yorion on turn 3, or potentially casting like a Venser with Ephemerate on turn 3. That's pretty powerful in most matchups. So anyhow, I'm not really gonna talk about it too much. I think that this current list, you can see it on the plugin. I tried to check and make sure that this was the actual current list on the Cardboard Live plugin on Twitch. So as I'm sort of chugging along, any of you guys should be able to just check out the Cardboard Live. It should show you what cards I'm playing. What's a new DV? Have you been playing any Soulherder lately? Earlier today, I watched Aspiring Spike. I think that I don't know if he actually won the event, but he got a Pro Tour spot, which was pretty awesome. He's a great streamer, really, really talented Magic player. Not as much as you would like, huh? All right, so we lost the die roll to start things off. Let's see how the opening hand looks. This looks pretty good. Is almost exactly the type of hand I was just talking about, where we just ramp hard. Like we go turn 1 Hierarch. If we're uninterrupted, we can go Wall of Roots Hierarch on turn 2. And then, it's just Venser and then Restoration, Angel, hopefully just blinking Venser. If we just cannot die to Storm before then. Yeah, the metagame has just been sort of stumbling from one mess to another. Like it was Oko, and then it was Uro, and now it is Lurrus. So this is probably going to eat a Bolt or something. It could just be like an Opt. There you go. All right, so Noble Hierarch could live, I guess. So some kind of red-blue opt deck. That's what we've seen so far. Could be Storm still. Nice to have the only kind of stack interaction in hand, but might just be a little slow if this is in fact Storm. Opponent just passing. All right, I mean, we don't have a lot of choices here. Opponent could remand this. Possible I should have started with Hierarch instead of the Wall of Roots, but here we can actually try to go for another Wall of Roots. This is probably the most I've ever ramped with this deck. Like, we're going to untap on turn 3 with 7 mana. Okay, remanding the Hierarch, kind of a weird decision. Kind of a weird decision, but it definitely looks like Storm. It could be it could just be like some random red-blue combo, like it could be Through the Breach. In which case, now I think we just start kind of holding up Venser until their end step at least. Yeah, that's the way to do it, I think. We've got the double blue through the Grove. So I can go Venser like 1, 2, 3, 4. I can actually, I should use the mana from these guys to cast some stuff right now. I think I might just pass here. I've got Venser here right now. I can go sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, but then I don't have Resto on the opponent's turn, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 1, 2, 3. So I think I'll just probably let this resolve. I could just bounce a land right now with Venser, but I don't know. I feel like getting him onto the board is probably a good idea. Yeah, but reusing wall, right? I would do it right now. I've already used one of my walls, right, to cast a Hierarch. So I could go Venser right now, but then I only have 3 mana on the opponent's turn. So I think I'm gonna let this go. Not taking super unnecessarily long. So is this representing Cryptic right now? In which case, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to cast this right now. Ugh. If they only have like remand and it goes back to hand, I'm pretty sure I can get Resto And Vince. Okay, well, here we go. Let's see. Deceiver Exarch. Okay. Yeah, some kind of key combo is correct. So now I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on my turn. I might just try to go, like Charming Prince. And if the opponent responds, like by trying to hit Venser, then I can Resto in response. Maybe I should just start with the birds. All right, well, this seems pretty good for us. Attack with what first? Attack with Venser into the Deceiver Exarch? Opponent just scooped. I don't think we had an attack there. I did think about it, right? But it would have just been a 3-3 going into a 1-4. Oh, no, it would have been a 4-4. Yes, double exalted. Totally right. So this is the kind of deck that's gonna play Blood Moon themselves. So Magus is definitely not coming in. If they've got Deceiver Exarch, it means that these guys will sort of break the combo down, make it so they can't really win if it's on the board. I didn't see them running any any companion. I think all these Veils are probably pretty good. Burrington, probably decent. I mean, Stonehorn also stops their combo. I agree, Veil's the main thing. It's kind of nice to be able to resolve our spells. Stonehorn, though, gets around like 3 damage very nicely. Like with Abrade and Lightning Bolt and stuff like that. If they're trying to win with Kiki combo, we can Chord for Stonehorn. I think the room. Okay, so let's just sort of figure out what we might want to board out. Since they're probably going to have some kind of Blood Moon effect, you definitely want to leave in the Dorks and the Astrolabes. Not a lot of ground things we have to block, so I can probably trim a couple walls. Crater Maker, they could bring in a Torpor Orb. That's kind of a catch-all. I don't love Soulherder when there's like Lightning Bolts around. It's just too easy, like to trade a 3-drop for a 1-drop. I'm gonna take Knight of Autumn out. Could blow up. She could blow up like a Blood Moon. We'll keep that in. I don't know. Take it out. Whatever. Reflector Mage, probably not super useful, I would think. Although, I don't know. I'm making these decisions a little bit too quickly here. But also too slow at the same time. I don't know. Trim one of the Auriok champions. We can just chord for these things. I don't know. Maybe Stonehorn is not that important with the removal. Maybe Deputy. I don't know. Running out of time, though. I mean, Forge Tender, yeah, it's possible it's not that great, but they are going to bring in a bunch of red removal against my creatures. So if something is really important, like if they try to get rid of Yorion or I think this is a keep. It's nice to have removal against these kinds of combo decks. So not a lot of gas, but it's got lands. It's got a little bit of ramp. Okay. Really would have preferred not to draw land there. You don't see a lot of Kiki Exarch decks these days. Just lands for days. Lands for days. So this is going to be the curve of Remand into Exarch. It's at least they don't have Splinter Twin. That was the old sequence. Remand turn 2. Deceiver Exarch, tap down your land. Turn 3, untap Splinter Twin. GG. All right, so now I'm just left with these 3 spells in hand, not really doing very much. Yeah, this is a Splinter Twin deck. So I'd say like a Coatl would be ideal here. Nice. Because I can pass, they can flash in their Exarch or whatever, and I'm gonna just play Coatl and path their Exarch. All right, opponent's going to be on 5 cards. Plenty of lands. I mean, we're defending our Coatl if we untap, but not doing a whole lot else. And what else am I going to use these things for? Force plus blue card, last 2 cards in hand. No, well, that's a good one. I don't think we need to hold up path here, so just gonna thin the deck a bit, play the wall. Chord is a good one. Yeah, that didn't work out terribly, but they are a combo deck. We have to be pretty careful. Lately, I've been trying to go more for the line of like courting for Eternal Witness, getting back Chord. They're just tapping out for Kiki. Oh, they have their own Yorion. So they get to basically blink their Snapcaster and shock my Coatl. That's not terrible for us. I'm just going to untap and path the Yorion. Lazy of me to not notice that they were playing Yorion. Well, I mean, our Yorion isn't going to really do a ton if I just slam him, I guess. Yeah, it's true. I'm just not as sharp as could be, I guess. So they're going to return this guy. Gonna shock my Coatl, presumably. And I guess the question then for us is, do we want to just jam our own Yorion, or do I want to path the opponents? And it sort of depends on what I draw, I guess, but it's nice. We're going to get the rebound here, right? Okay, well, I think just pathing Yorion and holding up Coatl seems pretty good. Or maybe not even holding up, but just main phasing Coatl to see what I draw. Deal with their Yorion, and then, like, while they're tapped out. I mean, I can only chord for 2 at this point. It's not that amazing. I think I'll just play the Coatl and see if I draw, another 2-drop or something. Blah. Happens all the time. So obnoxious. Yuck. All right, well, it is what it is. You need to be careful about that. Definitely a lesson to be learned there. So opponent's got 2 cards in hand at this point. I would love to like chord for Eternal Witness, maybe get back Ephemerate. Drawing a lot of lands this game. Yuck. So I can attack and, well, chord for 4 could be good, but I feel like I would just be chording for 3. Chord for 3 and hold up white for whatever card I get back with Eternal Witness, although just getting back chord seems fine. With the opponent low, we might just try to Kiki them out. Low on cards, I mean. I do have like chord for Resto if they just try to go all out right now with Exarch into Kiki or something. Not sure what's happening here. Looks like lagging. Oh, opponent just conceded the match. Maybe they have 2 lands in hand. All right, so not the most interesting first match, but I'll take it, I guess. Was just gonna get Eternal Witness, get back Ephemerate, and see how it goes, I guess. See how it would have gone. All right, so before I jump back in, I need to run to the bathroom, so I'll be right back. Yep, 4 more to go. All right. So, a pretty quiet night on the stream tonight. DV just hanging in there, the only chatter. Anybody else around? Want to say hello? Welcome to the stream. I see there are some of you here. Maybe I'll hop into the Merfolk Discord, just let them know that I'm streaming. Hey, DZ. Very cool. What is TFT? I have to admit, I'm not much of a gamer apart from Magic. Team Fight Tactics. What kind of game is that? Auto chess? Like with automobiles? Or like automatic? Automatic. I don't know. Like people, there's this extremely popular game where cars are playing soccer against each other, right? So I thought maybe there was chess with cars also. All right, so this hand is so close, except, well, I guess Kiki makes it not so super close. I'm going to mulligan this. Blah. Blah, blah, I say. Opponent's keeping 7, and this is pretty bad. Pretty bad. Of course, if we draw like a wall or a snake or something, it becomes a lot better. I think I probably have to keep it. Ephemerate in 80 cards is like is gas because it's so hard to find. Excuse me. Yikes. Hey McDerp, just dealing with this weird mulligan to 6 right now. I think I'm gonna keep it. Opponent's keeping 7. So I have kept. I'm going to I just bottom this Vista, I guess. I do not have any virus. Not confirmed. Not confirmed. My wife does such a crazy good job of keeping everything super clean whenever she goes out, you know, to go grocery shopping or whatever. She just like mops the floor when she comes home, cleans all the doorknobs with alcohol. Astrolabe. I don't, you know, it's Burn is not a great matchup. I guess we'll see how it goes. Double Ephemerate, no creatures. The non-bow is real. I mean, turn 2 Eidolon, I mean, let's see how the opponent plays. They should probably attack first, right? Not attacking first. Maybe it's like 2 Swift Spears or something like that. Then it'd just be toast. Oh, they are going to wait after all. Night of Autumn. That's like the best possible top deck. So this is a tricky one. Do I path or do I hold the path for the turn 2 Eidolon? I mean, the way that they look like they had a 2-drop to play. If I take 2 here, and then I'll take 2 off the Eidolon. If they don't have Eidolon, taking 2 any, I don't know. This is so complicated. That's true. That's true. Good call. Good call. We do have knight on top. It's easy to get fixated with knight and just think about life gain, but if we're trying to play around Eidolon, then of course knight is kind of the nuts, right? All right, DZ with the outside assistance. Gonna get a judge call from my opponent. And if this thing lives, the double ephemerate are gonna be pretty busted. Pretty busted indeed. Opponent knew that I had this Knight of Autumn on top. And still played Eidolon, so maybe they have another Eidolon. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they have 2 more Eidolons. This is the first game. I don't think Burn has moved away from Eidolon. I've just, every single time that you see Goblin Guide, you see Eidolon. Searing Blaze. Alright, why not? Another Eidolon. Alright, well. Well, we've got 3 lands, right? So, double Swiftspear. If we draw... I don't even know. Opponent's down to 2 cards at this point. Really just need a creature here. A creature that I can cast. I guess, you know, Path is something, but... Such a weird mulligan and such a weird series of draws since then. It's like double ephemerate. I mean, you got the Astrolabe, which I guess drew into a land or something. No, I had 3 lands, I think, in the starter, right? The opener. Well, at least the opponent is drawing a bunch of lands. What was wrong with their sequencing? I'm not sure if you mean playing the land out was like a problem with their sequencing? Or was it last turn when they played out the Swiftspears? Like, they probably should have led with the Swiftspears. Yeah, right? Like, why wouldn't they have Swiftspeared and then Searing Blaze? That's pretty strange. So we're just on, you know, damage control at this point with 0 bodies on the table. Like, we are very much a creature deck and not drawing creatures. Yeah, it was that was pretty weird sequencing. Definitely on their part. Opponent gets to thin their deck out a lot, though. Looks like they're not going to buff this Swiftspear either. Cracking their land. It's going to hard cast like Riftbolt or something. Oh, Luris. Oh my god. And then Eidolon. This is so stupidly gross. I'm so tired of this card existing. Opponent is definitely not going to get punished by their poor sequencing. I'm just going to die to this Eidolon right now. I already spent my night. At this point, I'm not really sure even, like, I've just been changing so much with the deck. Boros Charm. And that's the game. Yeah, that's the game. Just go ahead and concede. Pretty rough game 1. Nah, because it's 4 to the face and then 3 around my blocker, so... Okay, so we have, as far as life gain goes in the main, it's definitely taken a back seat recently to some of the other main deck options. I guess so. We have the Charming Prince and the Knight in the main, but that's it. We've got the Thragtusk to bring in. We've got the Burrentons and the 2 Auriok champions. Oh, not Stonehorn. That's not what I meant to grab there. Scavenging Ooze is sort of reasonable. This is not... I prefer Draneth Magistrate in the mid-range matchups, but I don't know. I feel like it comes in against kind of any companion deck. If they want to use a Lightning Bolt to deal with this guy, it's okay. And if they were going to use a Searing Blaze on one of my creatures, they would use it anyway. We've got Ephemerates to try to protect him. Yeah, I think Magistrate is okay. So those are the 6 cards I think that I want to bring in. The 6 cards that I'm going to bring out. Kiki can get out of here, and then this guy, you know, he can kill one of their creatures, kind of like that. Life gain is good. All the walls. I think the dorks are good. I think Venser's a little heavy. We can trim maybe a couple of Vencers. Deputy just dies a little too easily, I think. I mean, I don't know. Deputy also doesn't have a ton of permanents to hit. You know, they're mostly like working with burn spells. Soulherder, also a little flimsy, I think. They probably have Seal of Fire if they're playing Lurrus. Kind of slow. I mean, you could trim 1. Our deck is kind of slow in general, though. Take out slow things, bring in things that gain life, basically. You guys like taking all the Astrolabes out? Huh. Interesting. Yeah, but our whole deck is kind of bad against... it's kind of bad against Eidolon, right? Except for the A. It's not terrible. Horny Vegan doesn't like taking out any Astrolabes. Interesting. I mean, we're taking out Kiki, so trimming some Astrolabes is sort of fine. Opponent mulligan to 6. Horny Vegan and anybody else watching, I am actually vegan, for those of you who didn't know that already. I've been vegan since I was 16, which was like 8,000 years ago. Oh, God. Wait, I want to take that back. I kind of wanted to get a Temple Garden. I kind of wanted to shock for a Temple Garden. Oh, God. If the opponent bolts this thing. Okay. Ooh. Give me a basic Plains. Wall of Blossoms. All right, we gotta shock ourselves here, but hopefully it gets paid back. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I can't do Wall plus Auriok Champion here, unfortunately. I mean, the problem with this is that they bring in their Skullcracks, and half the time I bring these cards in, I'm blocking Goblin Guide and then getting Skullcracked, and it's like, it's the worst feeling in the world. I guess I do have a follow-up Auriok Champion. So I am going to block. I don't bring in Auriok Champion to not block Goblin Guide. But the Skullcrack is on the wall. Freaking hate Skullcrack. Yeah, very very smart. Next level. Yep. Mm, it's kind of a close call on these wall. I guess I'll play the Wall of Roots right now. Get me mana so I can chord better next turn. God, it's some of the cards in Magic Online are coded so terribly. Like the way that you have to do this is it's just such a pain in the ass. Like activating Flooded Grove is so cumbersome. It's very similar to activating Chord of Calling, like the kind of sequencing that you're forced to use. So now, I guess we have to think about what I want to chord for. So many options in this deck. I guess Thragtusk is the big one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One away from Thragtusk. Can also just jam Yorion here. Seems pretty good. I mean, we can leave chord up to get Knight and blow up Eidolon, and then have mana, I guess, to ephemerate. Or I could just do it now, honestly, and maybe even ephemerate now. But we've got chord. We've also got ephemerate up for gain 4. And I could ephemerate now. Opponent just scoops, so we have a minute or two to talk about ephemerate in this situation. If we were much lower on life, potentially lower on cards, I would definitely ephemerate main phase. Because what happens is if you pass the turn and you're at like 3 life, and then the opponent like casts a lightning bolt, and then you try to ephemerate, they have mana up to be able to do it twice, and so better to sort of do it more on your own terms, I think. So I can see the case, I guess, for trimming astrolabes, but at the same time, like if we have fetches, we can go get basics if we're running Astrolabe. I think that the setup that I was running seemed okay. Being on the draw against Burn for game 3 always feels bad. That was kind of the nut hand though, right? Like I had both of my 2 Auriok champions. It's not like I run 4, I just run 2. I got really lucky the opponent didn't bolt my my Hierarch on turn 1 or Seal of Fire, because I fetched a basic forest, so I would have just been like totally screwed. Actually, like better in that situation than playing out Hierarch with like basic forest might have just been I don't know. I guess shocking for the Temple Garden, but I was gonna say just like fetch a tapped Temple Garden and not playing the Hierarch. Like, but got to play the Hierarch on turn 1. I guess this is a keep. A little bit weird. Opponent starting with 7. I played against a Cats deck a couple days ago, which was pretty cool. They were running the Cat Lord companion. Oblaret, I don't love drawing Soulherder naturally that often. It's really not that great, like super early in the game, because opponents can just like lava dart it and stuff like that. So I like to sort of establish a board state where Soulherder would be happy, and then once I have a board state where I want Soulherder, I can always cast Chord of Calling and go get Soulherder. So the opponent's on 1 land, which makes me really, really not want to path this Goblin Guide. So pretty much the only play, I guess, is to jam Skoos, unless, let's say, I mean, if I play Astrolabe, then I've got mana up to path the Goblin Guide. Next turn, I can untap, play Scavenging Ooze, and at least gain 1 life, make it a 3/3. I mean, playing Skoos out into Bolt right now just doesn't seem amazing for us, unless, you know, I mean, it is a burn spell going at our creatures. And, I mean, there's not a lot to eat right now in the graveyard. Don't know how soon that's going to change, though. Remember, the opponent's on 1 land. I mean, they are going to draw land sooner or later, but giving it to them with a path, I don't know. Doesn't seem super amazing, but getting a 3/3 seems pretty decent, so I think it's a reasonable trade-off. More green mana with Flooded Grove, actually pretty good here. Yeah, I don't think I would block here either, so can also pass with like Ephemerate up for the Skoos, which could be good. Now, I guess the question is whether we want to block path or not here. Opponent gives us an Ice Fang. And taking the hit is kind of a bummer, right? All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's take the hit. Opponent plays their 2nd land. If they play Eidolon, I guess we just path it 2nd main phase. Opponent with the Skewer, and yeah, down to 10. Opponent with 5 cards left in hand. It is bad to give them land, I totally agree, but also not amazing taking tons of damage off of a Goblin Guide that we can kill, so some people have been playing Lightning Bolt in the deck lately, and you know that definitely has some merit. So now the hope is that they just go like straight up Bolt, like Scavenging Ooze. Right? Then we just Ephemerate it, untap, and I don't know, do some stuff. Yeah, I don't really know, honestly, like why I cut on Thin Ice. I think it's just going with the conventional wisdom that Path to Exile is like the best thing we could ever do. It'd be great if I could get out of this turn with the Scavenging Ooze alive. Helps us Chord for sure. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like, trading the Skoos, not like the worst thing in the world. I mean, what is the opponent doing here? I don't know. The plan has been to to not block, so... Okay, opponent just passes through, so... I think that means we just untap, right? Actually... I mean, if they're going to use a bolt on this guy, let them use a bolt on it, right? So I think I just want to eat the Hierarch right now. Like, I mean, them throwing burn at our creatures seems decent, and we can't make it bigger than a 3/3 anyway right now. Okay, resolves. Okay, we're getting to the point where we could chord for, we can chord right now for Auriok Champion, and that just seems really, really wonderful. So I can play the birds and still be able to chord. So I think that's the line probably. The opponent is just F6'd. They didn't play anything. Their hand is full of 2-drops. Okay, Lava Spike. A Cardboard Live should definitely be on. You can check with some of the other people. Okay, opponent just scooped. So I guess an aggressive keep for them. How did I win that? I don't know. Like, it's just I'm always so shook against burn. I actually feel better against prowess. Like, you can't really do anything against like constant like barrage of lightning bolts to the face. Also, Eidolon is just such a huge pain in the butt. Come back to Earth. I don't think I've seen you in the stream recently, so welcome. It's good to see you here. Did any of you guys watch Aspiring Spike's stream today? There was some basically a PTQ on Magic Online today, and he made it to the top 8, and then I think Yama Killer just scooped to him because Yama Killer just like last week or 2 weeks ago qualified for the Pro Tour, and so today was also for qualifying. So he just scooped in the quarterfinals, and then I'm pretty sure his opponent in the quarters must have also scooped because I didn't actually see it happen, but it seemed like it was over too quickly. Like I don't think a match actually got played. I mean, McDerp, I guess they could keep a hand with 1 land, Goblin Guide, Lightning Bolt, Skewer, right? Those are all one mana cards, right? So 1 land, Lightning Bolt, Skewer, Goblin Guide, and then 3 2-drops. That seems kind of like a snap keep for burn, doesn't it? Also, I think Spike is he's becoming a full-time streamer now. Like he's trying to make a living off of it, which has to be ridiculously difficult. At the same time, pretty exciting, right? Like you spend all your time trying to make your channel like as cool, as exciting as possible. try to get as many people to sub and stay engaged as possible. I think it looks pretty busted actually. There was like a point against, I think it was in game 3 against Tron, where he had like 4 or 5 counter spells in hand with a Jace on the board, and I think counterbalance was down. So he was like brainstorming to set up counterbalance, and then he had like 5 counter spells in hand. So for those of you guys who don't know Spanish, this is Poderosísimo, I think. Poderosísimo, yeah. So I think that just means like extremely powerful. It's kind of a corny name for MTGO. My name is extremely powerful. Okay, opponent. They kept 7. I'm going to keep 7. This is another Luris deck. Fun times for everybody. Oh, but it's a mid-range. It's a mid-range Luris deck, which we have a much better chance at beating than like a burn mid-range, a burn Luris deck. Much better chance. So if I was the opponent, I'd probably take something like Ice Fang or Wall of Blossoms. I mean, I don't know. Like, this hand is actually like a really stout opening hand for Soulherder. Like, I always say I don't want Soulherder in the opening hand. It's not the worst thing in the world. What does opponent take? There's always, Soulherder is not super popular, so they see the card and they're like, I gotta take the threat, I gotta take the threat. Don't take the air, take the threat. But opponent's really thinking about it. They've spent like over a minute on this play already. I really doubt it's Death Shadow. Really doubt. I think it's just going to be, like, in my experience, just seeing online, like, what the metagame is, I expect Hex Drinkers. But I don't have any main deck, like, anti-combat stuff, so, like, a juiced-up Hex Drinker would be, like, really hard for us to stop. I'd have to go, like, Kiki combo style. But post-board, it shouldn't be too bad, if it is, in fact, what they're doing. I am going to shock myself here, I think. No, it's just exactly what happened with Hogak, right? Didn't they didn't ban anything at first, or maybe they banned Bridge from Below, or what was the card? Yeah, it was Bridge from Below, right? Not Altar. They didn't think they banned the Altar. Are they going with that with Croxer right now? Oh, all right, that's sort of fine with that. Land would be okay. I mean, like, ripping a path would just be so good. Like, the way we lose this game is the opponent gets Luris down, and then they just find, like, they play Bobble, and they just play it a million times, and opponent really thinking. I guess they could go like Lily, right? But no, Lily not in Luris decks, right? No good that. So they could play like Renin 6. Could just play Luris. Opponent's at 10. I guess they could play Death Shadow, right? All right, so this Ice Fang is going to draw me immediately into a path. Tap land. Path. No. No. Super far away from Death Touch. The tap land made me ship a hand last match, and it's being really obnoxious right now. The risky line is ephemerating the Coatl right now to draw better land. But it's super risky, because then if they remove the Coatl on my turn and I don't draw the land on their turn, then I have no... Well, I guess I have this guy on the rebound. I'm not really afraid of Lurrus attacking right now, and honestly, I don't think I would double block at this point. So this is my turn 3. I might as well just main phase the Coatl, I think, and see if I can draw better land. Yeah, but if I draw Path, I don't have land for it. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, well, that's pretty good. Good-ish. Good-ish. We're sort of kind of getting there. We are ahead on time. Gonna try to keep it that way. I mean, drawing another basic next turn would be really good, because then we can get the Prairie Stream down without a hitch. Alright, looks like opponent's got some lands. I don't think ghost blocking here is advisable. They almost certainly have some removal, but do we want to draw the removal and then like land Deputy on Lurrus next turn? I think drawing removal seems just fine, honestly, here, because we're going to be able to get down Eternal Witness, getting back the Ephemerate at some point. Are they just going to use the removal right now? In which case, I guess I should, of course, respond with the Ephemerate. Like they're doing something. Mutagenic growing it. Wow. Wow. I guess this is maybe like a Temur Battle Rage now. This is wild. Wow. And then they must have like a Bolt as their last card in hand. I guess I want to Ephemerate. Like, I'd rather keep my creature, right? If I crack this, no, I would just die, right? If I Ephemerate, I would just die. Because I go to 14 and then Ephemerate, and I would take 14. So, yikes, yikes. I mean, I do have to crack this, but I can't Ephemerate. I just have to let the guy die. Jesus. All the life gain. Lightning Bolt as the last card? What? That was like a combo. That was like a crazy sick, like 5-card combo. Wow. But I mean, it was Lurrus, Growth, Battle Rage, Lightning Bolt. Jesus. And yeah, not a lot I can do here. Wow. All right. Huh. Uh, so Magus seems good, I guess, right? They have bolts, but you know they got to have it. This guy has protection from black, but they're going like trample style, so I guess it's a consideration. We definitely want to bring in Stonehorns. Scavenging Ooze against the against Luris. Veil against Thoughtseize. I don't know that Auriok Champion's really that good. I mean, it does stonewall their black attackers unless they have the battle rage, so I guess it's probably worth it. I guess Dranith Magistrate forces like an answer. All right, so I start trimming some stuff. I mean, it's just trim a little bit of the air. Kiki combo probably not going to come off against a deck that's obviously pretty all in. Just going to trim on the dorks a little bit. Mid-range matchup, lots of removal. Trading 1 for 1. Want to increase the value of each card. Yeah, no, I'm keeping the Vencers in. I like Vencer. At the same time, if we keep Vencers in, we do like to ramp. I trimmed, I think, 3 of my dorks. That hand was wild out of the opponent. We had a really nice hand, but opponent didn't want to grind. Opponent wanted to just destroy us really fast. I really appreciate all you guys joining me this evening for the Soulherder stream. It is kind of trying to be a regular Monday night thing at around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Started a little bit late today. It's not going to be typical, though. It's just some weird stuff going on today. Opponent, I guess, like taking a break because I mean, Merfolk's been fine. I'm not like crushing leagues with it or anything, but it's been fun to get back to it. And Unsettled Mariner seems like a pretty good Magic card. It goes along really well with like Curse Catcher and Spell Pierce, trying to tax the opponent's mana. We had a game on stream last week against Prowess where we had a Damping Sphere down, taxing their spells, and also I think a Mariner, and it was just like really hard for them to actually play anything. I mean, this hand is okay, but it's kind of weak to Thoughtseize, but I can't mulligan a hand like this, I don't think. I can like try to mull to like Veil, but it doesn't really seem great. I don't know. Can't be so shook of Thoughtseize. I mean, he's probably going to get me. They just kept their 7. If we can just avoid drawing lands for a turn or two, you know, the hand should be just fine. Just worry if they take the Coatl, then I'm going to play out a Scavenging Ooze. It's going to eat a Bolt. They're going to play Lurrus, and then it's going to be the game. Well, Vial is really the big answer, Come Back to Earth, and it is a big answer. It's like you don't really care what color mana you make when you have Aether Vial. Mutavault is a creature that gets buffed and just starts attacking. It's pretty strong. I think Auriok Champion off the top would be pretty decent. I might have been looking to play basics up front. They've got their Bauble. Looking at my top deck. I'm getting so tired of Mishra's Bauble. Like, it's such a stupid card. It really feels a lot like Ataxian Probe. And that card got banned. I could play Scavenging Ooze next turn and eat the Bauble though, so that seems decent as long as it doesn't get I guess we'll see. No, Mutavault is not good in Elves because you don't have Aether Vial. Also, I mean, in this blue-white list, I'm playing 2 Mutavaults, so it's not like there's tons and tons of Mutavaults. Blah. I don't like this at all. I have to get the Coatl down, but then it gives the opponent, like, their choice. I mean, I don't know if I'd love it if they take the Coatl. I have to use my mana for something. Not particularly close to Death Touch. Ugh, alright, well, what's the choice here, opponent? Gotta think it's Scavenging Ooze since I can just, like, eat that Mishra's Bauble, which is their sort of path to victory at this point. Cord could go get, like, Auriok Champion, but it's still a couple turns away, I think. Have to take this here. Opponent knows about the Ephemerates. Avenser, I'm not going to complain about that one. That's a good draw. I kind of want to get like basic Forest. Basic Forest, and then, well, I already have the Prairie Stream, so I don't want to, I guess I do want to go get like a tapped fetch here. A tap shock. I want Lurrus and I want Mishra's Bauble banned. I think I might just try to go for the Ghost Block on their turn, and if they have the removal, I can rip the other Ephemerate. They know about both of them, but prevent a bit of damage, and I don't know. I kind of want to keep the Ephemerates for when I cast Venser. Can also just Cord for 1 here. I mean, just to get like a to ramp my mana a little bit. And I'm just resigning myself to taking damage next turn. I mean, odds are they're just going to untap, play Bauble, play Lurrus, play Bauble, attack with Swift Spear as a 2/3. So we know all of that stuff is coming. So I think that the Ephemerate block should be good, actually. Man, why are you guys talking about wanting Oko back? Oko is like the stupidest Magic card. It's so stupid. I don't even care if you guys like unfollow me for saying this. It's such a stupid Magic card. It's like, yeah, I just gain as much life as I want. I get to make infinite 3/3s. I get to turn all your stuff into nonsense garbage. I get to steal your stuff for a 3-drop. Oh, come on. Come on. Why don't you whine about, like, Black Lotus being banned? Or I guess it's outside the format, but you can complain about any number of things. It's pretty close to being, like, the dumbest card that was ever legal in Modern. Opponent thinking, like, really hard about their fetch. Like, should I fetch now? Should I fetch later? There you go. You did it, opponent. So, play a land, play Lurrus, play Bauble. All extremely telegraphed. All extremely boring. Opponent has decided that playing Lurrus and me just getting free ephemerate value is just fine with them. Here you go. Just ban Lurrus. Like, I don't want all this overpowered garbage. Like, Magic card shouldn't be able to do, like, 18 different things for 3 mana. So now, opponent's tapped out. I might just want to ramp, honestly. If I cord for 1 here, get a birds or something, untap, play that, then I've got access to 5 mana. I can Venser and then ephemerate. Seems sort of decent. I mean, if I just, I mean, maybe just ephemerating here is fine. Gonna draw some cards. I don't know. I mean, maybe just holding this cord a little bit longer is better. Bouncing Lurrus, holding up ephemerate seems strong though. So whatever. Let's see how my line goes here. Maybe Hierarch was better for Exalted, but I mean, I have I think a Goblin Crater Maker in my deck. So now push is turned on. And I think I'm going to try to throw the Coatl under the bus and not ephemerate. Ugh, they should recast Luris. That's pretty nasty. It's like, all right, well, at least they're tapped out, which is actually pretty good for us here. Maybe double ephemerate. Rebounds. Not really sure I want to trade the Coatl at this point. Like, I think maybe I do. No, I think I just want to cast Yorion next turn. Yeah, I mean, ghost blocking is probably better there, I guess. Could have sworn we had a double ephemerate coming here. I'll get an attack in. Oh yeah, you're right. Good call. Good call. That's why I was remembering my 2 ephemerates. Huh. Maybe we get that down first, honestly. Like, just play Witness, get Ephemerate, cast Ephemerate, get Ephemerate. This is actually pretty good here. Concord for something important. I mean, just getting down Yorion seems okay as well. This just seems better, right? Opponent seeing what my next card is. Okay, that works. Now, I could cast this now, but then it only gets me cord for 1. I think it's time. Let's see. Now I guess ghost blocking seems sort of okay. All right, so I guess I'll try for Venser here, since it's harder to push. And if they bolted or whatever, it's, well, they didn't. Okay. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe it's just giving them mana. I don't know. Yeah. Can I get a path, please? I've got one shy of lethal if I could somehow deal with their board. Okay, red mana. Can't imagine blocking is very good in this situation. So now we can, well, let's see how it goes. Opponent gonna kill our Eternal Witness? Guess not. Opponent just conceded. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Actually, let me check out my sideboard real quick. Can you guys, while I'm gone, let me know if you think that there's anything I'm sort of forgetting about with the sideboard? I'll be right back. So I kind of feel like the only removal this kind of a deck might be playing is Lightning Bolt. I don't think we saw any fatal pushes. So we saw like it's got some, it's prowessy, right? They had Swift Spear and the other guy, Soulscar Mage. So then maybe Burrington is actually pretty good. Burrington's actually pretty good because they can go big on like a on a Swift Spear, and I can just like cord for one for Burrington. Cutting Dork seemed reasonable in that game, so I'm just going to cut another Dork. I mean, if they're super explosive, this hand is way too slow, and they're mulliganing to 6. Lands and spells, good spells. I'm inclined to keep this. We could mulligan to, you know, a no-lander or something like that. But if they just get down like a Swift Spear and start going to town with bolts and baubles, I'm gonna keep and hope that they have more of a mid-range hand than a super explosive hand. It could go either way. It's a very sort of bipolar deck, I think. Using bipolar there in the sense of two poles, not necessarily referencing the mental affliction. So Thoughtseize is going to make our hand a little bit worse, I guess, but they have a Swift Spear. Okay. That was a really nice draw there. Super nice. I mean, we'll have to see how things go. They didn't have a bauble to play that turn. So I guess they take the wall here. Seems pretty straightforward. But we've got a whole bunch of other walls left in the deck. They're down to 2 cards. They have played both of their lands. Deputy would be sort of solid here, except Deputy against haste creatures is always such a feel bad when they have like the bolt for Deputy. Drop. Cord. All right, so we're set to take a fair amount of damage this next turn, I think. Unless it's just Jam Luris and go. Could also be Death Shadow. Man, so they had to have the pretty aggro hand against this slow keep that I had. And then the Thoughtseize right on time. I mean, I could get like Witness for the wall, but I can't even play 2 spells the next turn. Well, that could come in handy. Could come in handy for sure. I mean, I feel like it's just like Reflector Mage Luris and just throw Reflector Mage in front of these Swift Spears. Jam Stonehorn the following turn and hope it's enough. Did I side out Soulherder? I did, huh? Yeah, not too much to think about here, honestly. Although I could bounce like a Swift Spear, let him get in with Luris. Although, you know, if they have like a Bolt for Reflector Mage, I don't know, just make him tap out for Luris, right? If we can maintain creatures, okay, all right, well, at least that's not going to my face. Opponent following up a Tarmogoyf. Okay, guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm on 1 Soulherder, yes. How many times am I going to get asked that question? The deck list is literally like right here on the side of the window. So we really, really want to hit a land for our next draw so that we can cast Yorion and just run this guy back. Opponent with no permanents to recast with Luris, so also didn't play a land last turn. Okay, they've got a land. Can't attack. Or opponent. Probably want to cast that Luris, I'd say. There you go. Okay, guys, we've reached a bit of a interesting position here. Huh, well, that's a little late to the party there, Mr. Magistrate. So now I guess I chord for Charming Prince to blink the Stonehorn. Then later I can cast Eternal Witness, hope that I draw into Paths. I guess I wait till like end step when they crack catacombs to go get. Well, I don't know. I don't. Again, we didn't really see push. Like if I go get Prince and try to blink Stonehorn, it seems pretty bad. If they push the Stonehorn, that's a pretty easy way to lose. So I kind of want to go to the end step here, let them crack their catacombs, and then chord for Prince. All right, we're going for it now. I mean, they didn't. Oh. I took the Prince out. Guys, I took my Prince out. What is going on? It's all so weird. Oh man, weird decisions. Weird decisions. When I bring in Stonehorn, I should be leaving Soulherder in. It's just a mistake to take it out. I mean, the best that I can do here is either get an Auriok champion, like the opponent's on one card. Auriok champion jumps in front of Luris. Hopefully they don't have a lot of gas to work with. I take 6. That just seems so bad. I can Burrington, block 1 Swift Spear, potentially. I'm taking 7 over here, potentially more. This is so bad. Losing to my own sideboarding decisions. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Jesus. If they have 1 non-creature spell to play, then Swift Spear makes it lethal. Don't even have Death Touch with Ice Fang. I mean, so I'll get a wall. I guess I could get a Wall of Roots, block the Tarmogoyf, hope that he doesn't die, and then maybe take 5 or 7 from their other creatures. Oh, and then I can cast Yorion off the Wall of Roots next turn. I mean, the Prince was just like choosing like that last card out of the 80. Prince is something that should very infrequently come out of the deck. It's just like okay, opponent's going to attack and probably just end the game right now. Please follow up with just like Death Shadows, like 2 Death Shadows, please. Always have the bolt. Oh, god damn it. All right, guys, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have lost that game. Just bad sideboarding. You could see the lines, but if you don't have the cards in your deck, it doesn't really matter if you see the lines. Very frustrating. But still learning how to play. Still learning how to play the deck, I guess. I do have like a 20-page primer on Soulherder. Should probably know how to sideboard a little bit better. Shake it off. Shake it off. So anyhow, lesson to learn from there, even though it wasn't really relevant in that spot, was not sideboarding out Soulherder. It's also possible that, let's see, it seemed like the opponent could have had the Bolt in hand because they did have one card. But if I got the Prince to blink the the Stonehorn Dignitary, then the Bolt wouldn't have been able to really stop what I was doing. Would have had another chance at untapping and drawing land for Yorion, which would have kept the no attacks going. I mean, been getting some weird openers. I don't really see how this is a keep here. Can't just hope to roll the dice on Astrolabe, I don't think. Oh yeah, hell yeah. I couldn't do it on my end step. That's another thing that I was kind of punting with there. Jesus, that wouldn't have done it anyway. Thank you, McDerp. I'm just like, so I've learned. I'm gonna mulligan this. Ephemerate is really strong with Yorion, just for that reason that Prince. Our other ways of blinking, like getting Prince, is too slow. I guess Resto is also like a blink rather than a flicker, and it's just getting worse. And yeah, I guess now we're sort of forced to keep this. Okay, let's see. We'll keep. I'm going to go blue, white, green. We'll keep and put this on the bottom. And got some 3-drops here. We're going to have to sort of hope to draw a third land, I think. Rather than pitch any of the cards that we have that we can actually play. Yeah, Prince needs to get done on our main phase. So if I was trying to play around push there, push on Stonehorn, I really couldn't have done it. It's kind of impossible to do that because if I want Prince to blink the Stonehorn, needs to happen before my end step. So opponent has kept 7, and they start off with Astrolabe, draw back up to 7. Definitely punted that one away. Played a really good match. Couple bad sideboarding decisions, and just like forgot how some of my cards work. Since this is a counterspell matchup, and I can't really play any of my other spells right now, I'm going to main phase this Coatl. Many times, I mean, I would just pass to the opponent, and if they want to counter my Coatl, it's fine, I'll untap and do something bigger and better. But I don't really have the lands to make that happen right now. Double Path, I guess, is sort of okay. The opponent maybe semi-low on manas. Well, at least that makes our play pretty clear. I imagine if they can mono leak the birds, they probably will. And they don't. I haven't seen any Uro in a really long time, honestly. It has to be weeks at this point. It kind of feels like Uro is a thing of the past, even though it's like it's got to be one of the most busted cards in Modern still. Opponent's still holding up that mono leak, I think. But, we don't not play Soulherder here. Opponent, it's your turn. I find game one against these kinds of decks to be pretty challenging typically. Like once they start getting fetch lands and putting cryptic commands and such back onto the top of their deck. Post board is better since I have the Veils in the sideboard right now. If they just jam Urza right now, you know, we have a pretty clean answer to that, but it looks like it might be Uro, in which case we also have a pretty clean answer to that. And we're gonna cleanly answer it right away. They have not played a land yet, which makes me think they might be digging for one. So they can play 2 more lands this turn. There they are. Well, that is interesting. I mean, I kind of just want to main phase this Chord of Calling for anything, like just get Wall of Roots so that I can cast Yorion next turn, kind of backfoot the opponent. You know, because letting them draw more cards, untapping with 6 mana, we're not going to really get there any faster, I don't think. So Noble lets me attack, and I'm already going to spend the Chord. Oh wait, but I have to tap Coatl to get my Chord off here. So yeah, I don't even have Astrolabe to use to filter the mana on the opponent's turn, so can see just getting, like, I can get Noble Hierarch here and then hold up white still for like another Uro or an Urza. But Hierarch is still a good idea here. I mean, the only clock we have is Ice Fang. I mean, you can see how these game ones can go pretty badly. I think we just mulliganed to 5. Pretty sure that's the case. Opponent with triple Field of Ruin. Supreme Verdict. Okay. Okay, you got it. You got it, opponent. It's going to be a fun game. Yeah, this doesn't matter too much. Can't imagine that I'm going to get... Okay, Sanctuary getting Monolith back on top of the deck. All right, getting pretty close to scoop time. I do have Deputy, so I'll play it out. But they're drawing Monolith. So... Well, it could still have Urza, I guess, but it's definitely very controlling. Main deck Supreme Verdicts. Yeah, I don't feel like playing this out, guys. Apologies if you think this looks like early scooping, but they're drawing 2 cards a turn with Teferi. Yeah. Not really in it to win it here. They don't have 3 fairy. They have big old Teferi, which is significantly stronger in this spot. All right, it's an Astrolabe deck. Magus not very useful. Veil obviously just all star. Phyrexian Revoker, Scavenging Ooze, and honestly, I did not see if they're playing a companion. Did any of you guys see if they're running a companion? I just assume they're playing Yorion. Like, why wouldn't they? Actually, I think trimming like Wall of Roots in these kinds of matchups is probably a good idea. I think it's more important to draw cards than to ramp, I think. Knight doesn't seem amazing unless, you know, they have Sphere, what is it? Sphere of Detention or something? Detention Sphere? I haven't seen that card in a long time. Deputy seems fine. Reflector Mage probably not important. Crater Maker, I'll keep it in case they bring in Torpor Orb. It's also just a 2/2. Charming Prince not coming out. I'm going to keep the combo in. 2 more cards. Maybe trim 2 dorks, I guess. I don't know. If they, yeah, but we didn't see Urza, right? So we can't really play to that, I don't think. Crater Maker also destroys colorless stuff. I mean, I guess that's reasonable to make a big knight. It seems like the odds of a single knight getting there are fairly low. This is a keep, I guess. Too many lands for my taste, but get a creature on the battlefield, hopefully, and take it from there. Why did I leave all my paths in? It's I think I probably should have trimmed 1 or 2 of the paths in favor of more creatures. You bring it in against anything that plays a lot of non-basics. Like I brought it in for the last match because it was like a Jund deck that runs only shocks, basically. Witness is a really nice draw. But yeah, I think I just run out the Prince here. Just get the beatdown going. Get a little bit of scrying going on, put some lands to the bottom. Hopefully we get a 2-drop going and we could like play a 2-drop and then Veil their like Monolith. Okay, so both of these to the bottom. Hello, Kiki Jiki. Good job, Charming Prince. So I used Magus. I just started playing it the last few days. I got an Amulet player with it. Like they only had 1 basic forest and everything else was non-basics on the battlefield. Can I get a 2-drop off the top, please, deck? One time. 1 drop. I'm not going to play Eternal Witness into Monolith here. I will attack with Charming Prince. Can't imagine they would want to trade with a Coatl. Oh yeah, I do that a lot, honestly too. It's one of the things that very clearly makes me not like an amazing Magic player is playing Noble Hierarchs after after attacks. It's just like it's the dumbest thing. I can't Veil this. I'm not going to try to. That can just sort of happily go to the bottom, I think. Not really trying to ramp here. So just treat that as a fatal push and move on. Okay. Opponent's ramping. Although, hang on a second here. I might just want to cycle Veil. They could have Force, I guess, on our turn, but that's not what I'm doing. Like, I can just cycle... oh, wait, I have a path. What am I talking about? Like, I have a path. For some reason, I thought I didn't have the path in hand. Like, I was looking at all the other cards. Wow. My brain. All right, so... I mean, I guess getting Path Veil of Summer back is decent. Yeah, it's not a companion matchup here. I can't leave up both Path and Veil. It's probably not that important, honestly. So I mean, if they're not countering anything, they're gonna go for. I mean, Path is probably better here since I have. Anyhow, I'm just thinking out loud, and it's late, and I just hang on a second. Oh my God, my brain. There we go. All right. I mean, honestly, like, just getting back, I probably should just play the Veil, but if they're going to play another Uro, like, having a Path just seems fine. I mean, I probably should have played Astrolabe just to get it down, but it's close with the Path, I think. Playing against Verdict is quite difficult when we don't... Oh, it's another Uro. Well, this is unfortunate now because I think that they can... I'm going to try to Path it. If they have the Monoleak, I guess they have the Monoleak. They don't. So we have exiled 2 Uros already. And we're going to be able to untap with Veil of Summer. Opponent at 7,000 life still. They didn't have the counterspell there, so maybe we can just draw land and play Yorion. Another Uro. Yikes. Well, come on land, please, one time. Oh, opponent ramping hard. And it's a fetch, so they're super close to being able to cast Uro. All right, just need one more card in there, opponent. Land. So timely. Now, there is like a slow loop that you can create with Yorion and Prince, right? But I've never done it, I don't think. So I could tuck away the Yorion if I want to here. I mean, I guess this would play around Supreme Verdict, right? We could try it just for funsies, see how it goes, right? Now this actually, hold on a sec. This would come back on on the opponent's end step. So I'm not going to be blinking. I'm not going to be blinking these guys right now. So they would both die, and Yorion would come back. But maybe that's actually really good right now, just to try to protect Yorion against like a board wipe. We'll do it. I don't know. We'll see if it ends up being terrible. Opponent plays Teferi. Okay. Picks him up. Passes the turn. Oh, wait, they can play sorceries on my turn. That's a good card to have played right now. They could just cast it right now if they want to. Ugh. Opponent is just wrecking me. Just wrecking me. Jesus Christ. Guys. Jiki Jiki coming to laugh in our faces. Well, that's not the worst card in the world, I guess. The static still exists, though. They could just untap and play Big Teferi, or just path this thing, or whatever, but it's a creature, and I'm naming the thing that they currently can use. Teferi is worse than Oko. Teferi is 10,000 times worse than Oko. That's why Teferi is not banned, and Oko is. I mean, what kind of statement is that? Like, of course Teferi is worse than Oko. This matchup is such a pain in the butt, guys. Like, it's really, really annoying. And like, we had the paths for Oko. They've got 2 planeswalkers, and they can just cast their Uro. I think I said Oko. They can cast their Uros again. We already pathed 2 of them. We've got a stupid like triple red spell in hand. I guess I can chord for like Soulherder right now, super slow time, and they can bounce it back to my hand. Yeah, whatever. If opponent mono leaks this or anything dumb like that, then I'm just gonna scoop. Oh wait, how did I do that for 4? 1, 2, 3. What? Oh, because of course, MTGO wants me to do this first. There we go. Opponent's laughing at my poor mechanics. And the mono leak, why not? Good games, guys. Good games. Good games. Good luck with the rest to the opponent. So I missed 1 point of damage off of a Hierarch, which they were going to Ether Gust anyway. Oh, you think it's like... It's more busted. You think Teferi is more busted than Oko. I disagree. I totally disagree. Teferi is a really obnoxious, terribly busted magic card, and I wouldn't be sad if it got banned. But Oko is way stronger. That's why Modern got destroyed by Oko, and I guess you could say it's kind of being destroyed on kind of a low level by Teferi, but like it's not warping the metagame like ridiculously. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. We'll finish up this league after a good start. Some poor sideboarding, lost to John Luris, Death Shadow. And I don't think there was any winning against that control deck, honestly. Like, I'm not running Force of Negation, so we're not gonna be able to counter those Teferis. And just like main deck Supreme Verdicts, even if I had the Forces, it's like, what am I gonna do against that? I'm like definitely a go wide kind of deck. Supreme Verdict punishes go wide kind of decks. I'll be back in a second. So Magicus, it's one thing I think to say that you like Teferi less than Oko. It's another thing to try to say that like Teferi is a stronger Magic card. I think I agree with you that the idea of the two cards, like I definitely dislike Teferi more. It's just that Oko is so unbalanced. Like if Oko cost, if both of his first abilities were minuses or something like that, or if one of them was a minus at least, and then maybe if it costs 4 mana, fundamentally it's a card that tries to do interesting things in Magic, and Teferi's not. And I really dislike Teferi, so I think we're on the same page. But I don't like when people talk about like bringing Oko back like fondly. They're I wish we could have Oko again. It's like, I mean, one of the most important things about what the game that we play is having kind of diverse play experiences and balanced play experiences, right? Like you want to have an opportunity to do things with your deck, right? And as soon as you need to play 4 Okos, it's so super boring. I mean, maybe that's true. Maybe Teferi is easier. Maybe Teferi is easier to remove, possibly, than Oko, but I think Little Teferi, is incredibly difficult to remove, honestly. Like, you need to be running, like, Abrupt Decay to deal with it comfortably. Because the opponent just passes and then they counter your stuff. Is continuing with the weird opening hands. Can't cast my 2-drop. Have the Singleton Stomping Grounds. We're going for the 3 and 2 here, which would be very nice, but I can't imagine I keep this hand. Doesn't have the mana that I need. And this is slow but keepable. We are going to bottom the Canopy Vista. Yeah, I guess, and hope that we draw lands. Yeah, but Magicus, because Teferi is not as strong as Oko, it gets played in far fewer decks. And so that's something I'm willing to sort of live with, whereas with Oko, I'm not really willing to live with that. And it's another control deck with me on 2 Path to Exiles. Oh, wait a second now, guys. Wait a second. Stop the presses. I might just be complaining a bit too much. Just suck it up. Play some Magic. Oh, God. That was a good draw. Good job, deck. Good. I take it all back. I take it back, deck. I love you so much. Well, give me a land next turn, and then, then we'll talk. All right. Better kill this guy. It's going to wreck that Ether Vial. Could be Merfolk. It's probably not Merfolk. I'd think, like, I don't know. There's not so many Merfolk decks that play fetches, I don't think. I guess blue-green is fairly popular right now. I think I'm just going to attack and then pop this Ether Vial. Yeah, I can't imagine letting Ether Vial get to 2 unnecessarily. If I blow up Ether Vial, I'm still holding up Path. Spirits is kind of obnoxious, but we do have Paths to deal with Spell Queller. Or any other garbage that they're trying to flash in right now. All right, Rattle Chains. So I mean, the whole plan is to sack this guy and blow up the Ether Vial. So let's just do it. Although, yeah, this guy has hexproof. I mean, we just want to destroy this thing. slow them down. Opponent has a 1-drop? Surprising. Wow. All right. So, and it's one that counters path. Wow. All right. Well, pretty good start by the opponent. If they can just like slam a Lord right here, they'll be fairly far behind. I mean, I guess they could have another Rattle Chains. Do I just rip one of the paths here to sort of force them to respond? Or does that just give them an opportunity to just counter a Path to Exile? I think I just want to path here. If they have another Rattle Chains, I mean, they have another Rattle Chains, right? Next turn, I can play Ice Fang Coatl. Like, let them sack their Mausoleum Wanderer here. You know, if it gets countered, it doesn't ramp them. The thing, they're probably going to... Okay, well, maybe that's correct, but we do have some creatures in hand, and I can just eat the Wanderer next turn with Coatl if I want to do that. Well, that is tempting. We do need to get mana out, so I think I'm just going to play that right now. Anything I do right now, I probably want to main phase it because now they have access to Spell Queller. So go Wall of Roots, and then we still have Path Up. Oh wait, yeah, we still have Path Up on their turn. So if they want to, now let's see. They didn't Mausoleum Wanderer on their turn, which means they don't have Mausoleum Wanderer right now. Which means that I could just path this Mausoleum Wanderer right now, rather than letting Spell Queller eat my path. I mean, I think that seems fine, honestly. To keep their board empty. We can untap. We'll have access to 3 mana. We can Reflector Mage whatever they play. I mean, I can't see any reason they would slow roll, like... I mean, maybe they wanted the... Wait, what? They didn't find a land? I think they just... What did they just do? They chose not to find a land? Teferi. That's fun. Well, this is getting grindy, huh? So I can play Wall of Roots and Coatl. Now Hierarch would give me Exalted to kill the Teferi. A land would let me cast Yorion. Spirits with main deck Teferi. Okie dokie. Oh, but now Spell Queller is legit, right? So we've got 4 mana here, and we can't play at instant speed. So I think I just go to attack Teferi, see what the opponent wants to do. I can still play 2 walls out. We got 2 paths in the graveyard. As soon as we get like an Eternal Witness, we should be decent. Feel fine attacking him with Death Touch here. I mean, I guess this wall is more important, right? So run it out second. The opponent wants to Spell Quell this, sort of fine. They cannot quell Yorion, though. Opponent's got a lot of cards in hand. Looks like they have another Spell Queller. I am going to just offer the trade if they want to just spend a Spell Queller. But I doubt that they're going to do that. I mean, it's sort of fine if they bounce it with Brazen Borrower. It's a tempo play. There's not a lot I can do otherwise. I can't play at instant speed, and they have another Spell Queller for Restoration Angel, so whatever. Like, make them have the... This doesn't matter since I can't really play at instant speed, but I'm just going to play tight here. This is so annoying. I need to do this better. And bouncing Yorion doesn't even seem like a super strong play, right? We still get the trigger. I mean, they could have a path for Yorion. Okay, they have a path. That's sort of okay. Gotta keep taking some beats in the air. I could see them flashing in a Brazen Borrower just to like speed up their clock a significant amount. My own path. Fortunately, not so great with Teferi out. We are 2-2 DV. Semi-punting against Jund, Luris, Death Shadow. And then we just got wrecked by like Bant control. Not being able to play at instant speed is so annoying. I hate Teferi. So now they've got a Lord and they've got another Spell Queller up. Come on, opponent, tap out. Eternal Witness seems pretty good. Eternal Witness seems pretty good. The problem here, though, is if I try to path, I'm going to path this thing. They could quell it, right? Then I go Eternal Witness another path. Oh, you know what? Hang on. This thing unfortunately doesn't do 2 damage. Yeah, it just does to creatures. I'm going to try to path this, and I'll see what the opponent does. I mean, spell quelling it is a really good play, because I'm never going to get it back with Teferi out, right? Okay, you got it, opponent. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I can go Eternal Witness, Path, plus Reflector Mage, but I don't have 2 white right now. I could path on... I can't path on their turn. Man, I hate Teferi so much. I really do. Really hate it. Maybe I just take the turn kind of off. Maybe I Reflector Mage. Maybe I Restoration Angel. Like blink. I don't know. Eternal Witness. Get back another path. Get a big flying body. That seems decent. Teferi can't bounce yet. I can path and then also resto right now. Oh, I can't. Again, no double white. Yeah, I think I just like restoing here. Yeah, and then we can use the paths whenever, right? And then, I mean, I probably don't want to attack with this Coatl right now. Opponent should know that we have 2 paths at this point, I believe. More lords. More lords. Okay. So, big boys. And next turn we get to path Drogskull and something else. Probably another lord. Makes things smaller. I think maybe... Oh, I can also Reflector Mage. So, well, again, we only have 2 white right now. I just don't love blocking with the Restoration Angel right now. I think I'll take that. Maybe it's bad. Yeah, I know. Magic. I get it. Don't rub it in. Witness is a nice one. Witness is a really nice one. So, it's gonna start by pathing this stupid Drogskull Captain. So now I can path again, and then Ewit, get back Coatl. Pretty far behind on time. And opponent has a bounce with Teferi if they want to cash it in, but I can't imagine they do. I mean, they're not so far off lethal. If they play 2 lords, it is lethal. 2 lords bounce with Teferi, but they've already played a bunch of lords. Oh, they're bouncing the Spell Queller. That's bold. I think I get the path back. Oh, well, let's say okay, right? Oh, well, now they quell it again? But, like, I guess they just really want to draw a card, right? Yeah, I was thinking about the attack. I figured I would wait to see what they do on their turn, because they could just double Lord and then just bounce with Teferi and just win. So I figure we might as well play a little bit conservatively. Eidolon, you got it, opponent. That's kind of nice. Come on, let's. What is happening here? What? I want to cast my spells. What? Why can't I cast my spells? Oh, it says I can't cast more than 1 spell. I already cast my Astrolabe. That's funny. Oh my god. That's funny. Yeah, no, I get it, guys. I just I was thinking just Astrolabe is not a thing at all, and I was gonna bounce the Eidolon and then play a bunch of spells, but I forgot that Astrolabe first. It's so just ingrained. And at this point, I still don't know if I really want to attack. He just bounces off Spell Queller, so that was a bad turn, but I'll be a little more careful next turn. Yeesh. And I just wasted time sort of thinking about it. It was an oopsie. It was an oopsie. I think we still might sort of be okay. Opponent may or may not realize that they have a spirit in their graveyard that they can make something out of with Moorland Haunt. 2 Eidolons. Now we really can't play more than 1 spell per turn. Huh. So I think just like Charming Prince, Blink Resto, or actually maybe Blink, yeah, Blink, I don't know, whatever. Just Blink Eternal Witness seems fine, and I can path something on their turn. Opponent realizes, they make a spirit. Still can't really attack, I don't think. Now I get another... Hold on, I actually should have paused on their upkeep. Ugh. I get another path from the Spell Queller, but I can't cast both of them in one turn. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, I know. I sort of get that I can't really get a lot of value out of this. I think in general our deck plays better at instant speed than spirits. I just need to watch the clock here a little bit. I can bounce that spirit to kill it, and now I've got Venser on my turn. On the opponent's turn is what I mean to say. And now I think I might want to get in the air. Need to start sooner or later. Oh, they pathed. Wow, okay. Unsettled Mariner. I can just bounce that back to their hand. Can also just pay the tax. Stupid. Stupid Eidolons. Hiki Jiki, pretty close. Not quite there. We need one more land for that. Can't really attack very well. Draw something instant speed. Maybe a cord would be gas. Opponent making another spirit. We're gonna die to these stupid spirits. I can't. They draw another. Oh, Kira. It's a flyer, and it's getting buffed, and it's gonna counter my removal, or just even Venser. Like, I guess we can path and then, or Venser and then path. These Eidolons are such a pain in the ass. And I'm just dead to I'm just dead. I have no more flyers. They've got me beat in the air. I don't really see an out here. I'll play Soulherder and try to draw a card, I guess. But I don't really see what wins because I can't stop their attacks. I think the one resto is just exiled. Yeah. All right, so they're playing a very sort of control-y sort of spirits deck. This was game 1, and they had the main deck Eidolons. Main deck Kira, main deck Unsettled Mariner. This can prevent Teferi from bouncing our stuff. It doesn't protect spells from Spell Queller. And I don't really think it works. I don't think Veil is that good in this matchup. Yeah, it's definitely really strong. So it's going to be grindy. I mean, Thragtusk is probably good to like punch through some stuff. Scavenging Ooze, maybe to eat some things. I don't know. Get big, force like a path on that thing. They do play Vile, so we keep in the Knight, we keep in the Crater Maker. We could just try to gain life with Auriok Champion. I don't think Phyrexian Revoker for Teferi is that amazing. Revoker on Vile? Yeah, on Vile seems okay. Kind of like Collector Oof for Vile also. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. The Wall of Blossoms don't really do very much. The walls in general don't really do very much because they're not blocking at all. All right, we can run it back like this, I guess. Just bringing in these 4 cards. Wanderer is a good one, actually. I mean, the mana seems okay here. We've got the Revoker if they play the turn 1 Ether Vial. We've got a path. I guess this is a keep. Literally the only thing that Veil hits is, well, Veil beats Wanderer, I guess, right? That's something I wasn't thinking about. I was just thinking about Teferi because it doesn't hit Spell Queller. And that's the big one. That's what I was thinking about. But I guess we'll see in this game if Veil would be good in certain spots. Land is not terrible here. We kind of needed another land. No Vial makes Revoker a little bit worse. Should I just run out Revoker now, just naming whatever and start attacking with it? I mean, we need bodies for Chord, so I think that's my plan. Yeah, exactly. That's what I would name. What Wanderer is it? It's like I'm thinking Maelstrom Wanderer, but that's not correct at all. It's Mausoleum Wanderer. Yeah. Mausoleum Wanderer. Going once, going twice, Mausoleum Wanderer. Yeah. Yeah, I know that one. For some reason, Maelstrom Wanderer just got into my head. It wandered into my head. Opponent with the tricky flash stuff over here. So now I think maybe we don't attack. I think I'd rather not trade this guy. They have rattle chains, which gives it, I guess the trigger goes on the stack for hexproof and I can path it. No attacks, even though I have the path. Seems like the path says I should attack. Double Chord of Calling probably means we should chord. Yeah, maybe I'll just pass, and if the opponent flashes something in, maybe I should chord for 1. Should be able to cast Yorion next turn. Opponent with nothing except Spell Queller, I guess. And since they're representing Spell Queller, I think I do want, well, if I chord for 1, that's a 4, X equals 4, or CMC equal 4. I have to play faster. I'm not going to do anything. But now I can, now I can chord for 2. Nah, I don't think so. I could also just attack and then Venser their Spell Queller, which seems fairly good. Opponent might have brought in like Supreme Verdict or something like that. Maybe they're just like trying to draw out more creatures. And they pass. Kind of fine with how this is going for now. Come on, opponent. I know you've got it. Let's go. Not fooling anybody. Yeah, settle the wreckage. I guess we have to look out for that. But now we have a really amazing Yorion set up. Opponent has to pass the turn again or no? Let's see. Can try to hit this if they want to quell it. I have to play fast. Play like I'm running out of time. So if they quell this, okay, they didn't. That wouldn't have really made sense because the Yorion would have just been a blowout. I can chord for Prince in response to blocks. And this might be kind of bad, but just keeping it. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, wait, it comes back on end step. This is terrible, guys. I keep forgetting this. Yeah, oh, I'm getting so I'm not even thinking through my lines anymore, guys. I'm sorry. That was really bad. Yeah, and then I don't even know what I wanted to, what is even the line there? I keep thinking that Prince is like a blink. Oh, ridiculous. It's not all good. It's terrible. But letting them block and then courting, right, to blink the thing so it doesn't die. If they have double Drogskull right now, I think it's just game over, right? Like, what am I even doing? I can play Yorion, but I can cord for I can combo, I guess, with the... Yeah, just comboing seems good. I can get Resto here, and a Stonehorn is good, but I think just like getting Resto seems better, doesn't it? Yeah, we have Stonehorn for sure. But I have to play faster. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm going to cord for Resto and then cord for Kiki on my turn. But they could very easily have paths. Honestly, guys, I'm ready to like I'm ready to go to sleep. They're respecting yeah, they're respecting the Coatl. Well, if they've got paths, I don't think I'm winning. But I'm pretty sure that they've got paths. Let me try see if they go after like Venser. That'd be kind of fun. I'm setting myself up to have to win with 4 minutes left on the clock in game 3 though, which is just kind of stupid. Everything has hexproof, so bounce one of these lands, I guess. Yep, they can path on my turn, and I don't think I can really do much to prevent it from happening. So I just have to do this, right? Wait, what? Ah, I hate MGGO. Hate it so much. Makes you tap your stupid cards so many times. Of course, why wouldn't they have the path? All right, GG's, guys. Couple of brainless plays, I think. Opponent with good stuff. So I'll say GG's. GG's, thank you. And I don't know, like, maybe I feel like when I stream sometimes, part of, honestly, it's kind of a weird thing. What distracts me, and I have to figure out how to deal with it, is I have a light, so that like it's not totally like black in this room, and it's like this circle in front of my face all the time, and it seems like a weird thing to say is distracting, but I find it a little bit weird, and it's kind of, it's not really an excuse, like but I just have to figure out some better way to light my face, because it's like, it's kind of draining having this light, you know, all the time. So sorry we didn't get there in this league, guys. In general, I've been feeling like the deck is good. If we think back to like sort of why I lost the matches that I'd lost, the control match, I think, is just always going to be like that. I could play like 8 main deck counter spells, which might possibly change it somewhat, but I still think it's going to be bad. We really want to commit to the board, and Supreme Verdict is just going to punish that so hard. If we get out an early Yorion, like people all the time, I feel like when they talk about this deck, they're like, well, why are you afraid of Supreme Verdict? You have Yorion. Just blink Yorion and tuck your team away. But I mean, that just assumes that they don't have a path when you try to blink Yorion. It assumes that that they don't have a mana leak. It's just, I mean, we don't put a lot of pressure on the board as far as power goes, like a clock. And so the opponent, like the control opponent, doesn't have to go for their Supreme Verdict on 4 mana like they might against Merfolk, right? Like they can wait till they have 7 or 8 mana to cast their Supreme Verdict. They wipe the whole board, and they have counter magic backup. They have ephemerate backup. They might have Teferi on the table. So it's like, I just really don't know how to address that matchup with this deck. It just seems like we have to like hope and pray a lot. I did have a Selfless Spirit in here for a little while, I think. I have one actually in the Merfolk sideboard right now. So the control matchup I'm not really that concerned about. Honestly, I could have beaten the Jund deck, I think. I sideboarded out Charming Prince, which was bad. I also sideboarded out Soulherder, since I was kind of afraid of just trading my 3-drop for a Lightning Bolt. And that's a legitimate concern. But if you're bringing in Stonehorn and you're only on one Soulherder, you should keep the Soulherder in. Like, you should also just keep Prince in almost all the time, because it just makes Court of Calling better, particularly when you use it correctly. Like, if you don't really know how to use Charming Prince like me, then you might as well sideboard it out every game, I guess. Kiki Jiki tried to be awkward in a few games. Like, it presented itself in like my opening hand a couple times. I think I just mulliganed those away. Charming Prince very fortunately scried it away in one of the games. I'm still like taking too long for my plays with this game, with this deck, and I just find that disappointing and worrying, honestly, because I've played Solitaire. Like, I kind of know all my inputs. It's just that when you stack up all the triggers and like you have to respond to all the triggers, I just feel like I always end up going to like, you know, less than 4 minutes on the clock every match, and it's difficult. I mean, I feel like I have to start exploring not using hotkeys the same way I do with Merfolk. Like with Merfolk, everything's for me like with the keyboard, and I never do any like clicking auto yields. Like I never do like right click and then you know, always yield to this, because I'm very often kind of undoing auto yields. For me, it's like F3 basically. I'm really good with my hotkeys. I think that I'm very quick with them. It's just that the way Magic works, like with Court of Calling, Wall of Roots is bugged, so you can't add mana with its ability while you're casting Court of Calling. Yeah, the Power Glove is actually probably the best solution. If you start casting Court of Calling, like I'll go like tap, 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 and then realize I can't activate Wall of Roots because of the way that Magic Online is just like kind of busted. I have to undo it, and then I have to activate the Wall of Roots, and then I have to tap all my creatures again. It's like, it's so maddening, because even if there's 20 minutes left on the clock and I do that, I know I'm wasting a minute that's going to be really important at the end of the game because I go to time every match. It's just like, it's so obnoxious. Sideboard tech, I don't know. I feel like the red hate is always strong and sort of proved itself today. I think we beat Burn, like, and then we lost to a bunch of other grindy stuff that should in theory be easier than Burn. I think Thragtusk is sort of my fourth kind of anti sort of burn tech piece in the sideboard, even though it's a little bit slow. That also helps in grindy matchups. Veil is a good card, but you need things to line up. Like when we played against Control tonight, they just jammed Teferi, and then Veil was just entirely dead. So, it's just like sometimes like the games just don't go your way, I guess, in the end, which is just fine, you know. You guys have any comments about any questionable inclusions? I feel like at this point, you know, the list gets so tuned, you start to feel really comfortable with everything. but there's always the possibility that you're just missing some angle. Something I did recently was I went up onto 3 Vencers. Possible that I should just go to 4 if I want to kind of be all in on Vencer. And when I did that, I added 4 more Dorks, which obviously kind of thins out the other flex slots. And some of the games that I play are just like play Vencer on turn 3 with Ephemerate, and then the opponent just can't do anything. That just seems like something worth ramping into. And then after you play Vencer as a 4-drop, of course, you can always play Yorion as a 5-drop, and it just kind of like seals the deal. So I do like this Vencer approach. I wonder if I should be on 4. Somebody commented earlier about like the kind of weird hands I was getting in this league. I wasn't getting my 2-drops in my opening hands. I had to mulligan a decent amount, but you know, I made misplays, and it bums me out. But honestly, you know, you try to learn from them, and everything's productive as long as you remain positive and just observant. If that's our game plan, wouldn't be benefit more Soulherders to blink it? Yeah, I've talked about this with I think McDerp might also be on like the multi-Vencer plan at this point. More Soulherders is definitely a direction that might make sense alongside Vencers. I think if it was McDerp who's on multiple Vencers, he was talking about, like, for example, playing 4 Vencers, 4 Soulherders in order to facilitate running Force of Negation, which might not be a terrible idea. I just feel like with 80 cards, when I've tried Force of Negation so far, it's just felt really bad because, I mean, you're just going to draw it less, first of all, just like we're going to draw Ephemerate less often with 80 cards. But you're just, you know, unless you're jamming tons and tons of blue cards, given the like 33% higher variance, the odds of having a force but not a blue card are just that much higher. So I don't know. I could totally see that. Like, I kind of like the idea of going up Soulherders, honestly. The last few times where I've just jammed Soulherder, like at the beginning of the game, it seems to do work. I think I've gotten a little bit scared of Soulherder, like having gotten bitten by like lava darts and stuff like that. So Dow Swizzy, what are you saying about me being right? There's a bit of a lag between Twitch and me and you. So I don't know, like it does seem reasonable. And you know, if I've got a Reflector Mage now, the thing about Force of Negation is I probably have to trim Wall of Roots, which I really love, to go back up onto the Coiling Oracle plan to keep the blue count high, which is, for me, it's a bit of a bummer because I really, really like Wall of Roots. But Coatl does help the ramp plan, sort of like Wall of Roots sort of helps the ramp plan. But I don't know. Like, as I said, Wall of Roots just feels really, really good in this deck. It slows down decks like Burn. It ramps Chord of Calling. It gets us to Yorion faster. You can play Wall of Roots on turn 2, and then if you happen to just top deck like a Dork, you can play the Dork off of the Wall of Roots. So there might be some balancing to be done. And honestly, as versatile as Goblin Crater Maker is, I haven't used it that much. I haven't corded for it that much. Its main reason for existing is to blow up Torpor Orbs, because you can't really do it with anything else because they're all ETBs. So you kind of need something like this or Kazali somewhere in the 95 if you're concerned about Torpor. Oh my God, Torpor Orb. It's a tongue twister. Torpor Orb. You guys should say that out loud a few times. Oh my goodness, it's difficult. But you saw I blew up the Ether Vial and then I just proceeded to like get smashed by spirits. So how necessary this card is sort of dubious. Might need to be another blue card if I'm going to try jamming Force of Negation again. And yes, you're totally right that going up on Vencers is made better by adding forces because we can pitch them as extra blue cards. Definitely very logical, very reasonable. The sideboard is still, it's just a random grab bag of like decent enters the battlefield kind of stuff. Or not even, right? Because Scavenging Ooze isn't ETB. These guys aren't ETB. Just try to think about what your bad matchups are and then try to shore them up. But I think I'm still like discovering like some bad matchups. For example, this control matchup I would have thought would have been much better because of the Veils, but then I just got destroyed by Teferi. So if we are so weak to control, then adding the forces back in totally seems reasonable, right? To try to battle on that axis, try to fight them on the stack a little bit. Okay, so I'll keep that in mind. I'll make some adjustments and try something a little bit different this week. Because I have been loving Venser. I have been loving the ramp. Like when I get an opening hand with a couple of lands, a Dork or two, and Venser, it's just, it's really hard for the opponent to beat that because like I played against Elves and it just felt like the easiest match of Magic I'd played in a long time because they go turn 1 Dork, I go turn 1 Dork. They go turn 2. Well, if I'm on the play, right, it's so much better. Turn 1 Dork, they play turn 1 Dork. I play turn 2. I think I actually played Soulherder. Like I naturally drew Soulherder. Then they just tapped out for an Archdruid. And then I played Venser and bounced their Archdruid on my turn 3 with Soulherder, and it was just like, nighty-night elf player. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's time to return to Soulherder, go back to our roots a little bit. Like Nassif keeps getting to like the finals of these modern challenges, and his lists in general, they have so many 4-ofs. It's just like 4 Soulherders, 4 Avalanche Riders, just jam 4-ofs. And if he can do well, if Spike can do well with 4 Soulherders, who am I to sort of be the precious one, just saying like, no, one is the way to go. So I think I hear what you guys are saying. I'll go up Soulherders a little bit. Every 5-0 Yorion Soulherder lists are 4 Soulherders. Makes sense. It's a strong card. It's it totally makes all of our blink stuff better. And honestly, now that we are ramping towards like more value with Yorion, stuff like Venser, getting out an early Soulherder I think is way more powerful than it was like back in the day when we were just like going Wall of Blossoms, Soulherder, like go. Like, yeah, we drew an extra card, but I think we have more powerful stuff, a little bit more powerful stuff going on right now that like land Dork and then land Soulherder just probably is a pretty decent turn 2 as long as it doesn't get lava darted. So thanks for watching, guys. Kind of a bummer of a league, but always happy to have you guys join me. So Abundant Growth, the thing about Abundant Growth is it just kind of takes up slots. It's a really good card with Yorion, but I had so many games where I drew like 7 Abundant Growths and Astrolabes, and it just felt like so much air. And the idea is you do draw right past it and you get to the next card in your deck, but there is kind of a point when you need to stop doing that and need to stop jamming so many of those kinds of effects when you're trying to fit a bunch of chord targets, right? Like if I want to play Reflector Mage in this deck, I can't play and 8 Dorks, then I just can't. I have no room for Abundant Growth. So if I want to play Kiki Jiki, like there's no room for Abundant Growth. All of those things, Crater Maker. Like once you start adding 4 more Astrolabes, like you really cut down hard on, or you just take out Dorks. Like honestly, you could replace the 4 Birds of Paradise or the 4 Hierarchs with 4 Growths, or just 2. Like you could play 2 Abundant Growths instead of 2 of the Dorks, but for me, I think the Dorks are just better, and I totally like the point actually now of trying to play specifically for turn 2 Soulherder. I think it's a pretty strong line at this point. So anyhow, if there's no other questions, again, thanks very much for tuning in, guys, and I'll be streaming next on Wednesday night with Merfolk. Probably this blue-white list since nothing else has really popped up in the last few days. Yeah, Swizzy, thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys next time.